Hello, my friends. Here we are. Another day. We survived Monday. And here we are on Tuesday. What is it? February 3rd? Is it February 3rd? I think it is. Well, my friends, wherever you're coming from, wherever you're watching this from, sitting on the couch, on the computer, watching on TV, on the phone, maybe you're watching on a Nintendo Switch. I want to thank you for coming along on this journey. Buckle up. We won't be going too fast, but it's just for safety. And I figure, well, yesterday was a drive home. Today it's lunchtime, and we're just gonna have a little drive and talk. How's that sound? I was just in a corporate speak meeting at my place of work, and I needed to get out of there because, like most corporate speak meetings, when you work for a company, it just doesn't really apply to you typically, does it? I mean, sometimes it does, it might affect, but I mean, the people at the top of a company, when they have their meetings that are mandatory and only a quarter of the people show up, that's how mandatory they are. And then they talk things that you could predict. They basically say things that are very predictable. This is actually part of the reason why a lot of people leave the corporate type environments, or, stop working for companies that are in these cycles like this. But because they just get sick of some of the predictability and some of the other things that go on. And others find comfort in that predictability. And, it's the world they know. And still others, when they reach a certain age, they just kind of get tired of the same thing. I've worked for a number of companies in the industry that I'm in. This is for my day job, and have been involved in buyouts and corporate takeovers and all this kind of stuff. Not me personally performing those things. I've just seen them. I've been in the companies that were bought out or buying out or whatever, what have you. And so I'm in the middle of another one. I'm working for a company that got purchased by another company. I came to work for the original company because I appreciated and enjoyed working with the people that worked there in a previous job. They came from that previous place, which was another very large corporation, by the way. I went there because of their talent, and that's why I went to work for this smaller company. I wanted to work with talented people who were in my industry, who were in touch with culture. And so it was a well-cultured company. I actually left another company that was well-cultured, purchased by an overseas company, and then completely lost its culture. So far, since this company's been bought, for the most part, and it's only been a couple years, we've been allowed to keep our culture, and that's important to me anyways. Well, we've just been bought by a very large multinational corporation based in the United States, but so we'll see. Maybe they'll maintain the culture. Maybe they'll allow us to keep our culture. Maybe not. But I'm getting too old for this crap. I'm getting too old to move around. I think I'm going to stick it out. And if I ever decide not to stick it out, I'm leaving central Pennsylvania. I don't know how. I don't know where. But I'm leaving and I'm getting in another industry. You see, I'm in manufacturing. I make things. I make components that go into things. And I'm pretty decent at it. I've been doing it in this same business for about 30 years. And I enjoy working with my hands, but I also enjoy pursuits of the mind, art, anything artistic. I enjoy those things. Music, video. I enjoy those pursuits as well. And I actually have a marketing degree. I have a marketing degree that I don't use to make money. And I probably never will, to be honest with you, other than maybe social media stuff. You see, I could grow this channel and I could turn it into, whatever. Like, I could grow this channel into a larger thing. I could basically do any number of things, including go to TikTok and start selling stuff on TikTok Shop, like turning an entire channel. And I know somebody that did that, and they're doing pretty well. They're actually kicking butt at doing that, and I give them the credit. I can't do that. My creative ventures have to be with something that I love, something that I appreciate, and in this particular case right now, it's talking to you. I like that, and I like creating history, theme parks, whether Disney, Universal, Hershey, Knoebels, name your theme park, anywhere, any theme park I love, even the little small theme parks. Abandoned stuff. I love all this stuff, roadside attractions. It's, that's my jam, I just like that stuff. So, bottom line is, if I would leave this company, and I don't plan to, I like my job, and I really like the people I work with quite a bit, pretty much all of them. And I like the company I work for, at least from the local level. We've only been owned by this other company for like about 2 years, and we've only been owned, or we've just been purchased or bought out. The other company was bought out by this larger company. It has nothing to do with our business whatsoever. They have no knowledge. They have anything to do with our business. That could be an advantage. It could be not an advantage. I don't know. But in any case, it's neither here nor there. I was just in that meeting, the meeting to explain and talk about these things, and I didn't need to be there. I mean, the guy that actually was the guy I came to work for is now in charge of, or one of the big guys in the company that had bought us, that purchased us. It's complicated. Anyways, all I needed to hear came from that guy. And it was like, well, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change for, you guys because of this, because of something. Folks, that's all I needed to hear. I mean, that's it. That's all I needed. Thanks. That's all I needed. I just wanted to know. And like 99.9% of everyone there, probably the same thing. They probably felt the same way. But instead, we got all this, like, corporate, like, blah stuff about synergy and all this stuff, these words that mean nothing anymore. It's kind of like when you hear a company say non-HMO, or what's the other thing, or you hear someone say sustainable or sustainability. That meant something. All those things meant something at one time. They were very important things at one time. They're not important anymore because there's so many regulations and so much stuff now that literally almost everything is sustainable. So it's basically diluted the meaning of the word when it comes to marketing or whatever. So it's become one of these things, including HMO. When you see non-HMO, well, the definition of, I'm saying HMO, is that what it is? Whatever. It's not HMO. That's a medical thing. I'm assuming you probably know what I'm talking about. The genetic GMO. That's it. GMO. The genetically modified food. The definition of genetically modified foods has changed over time to such an extent that it's no longer, when you hear that or see that on a box, it no longer carries the same meaning that it used to carry. So it's just not the same. So the same thing with the word sustainability. It's one of these things that no longer has really a meaning anymore. It's just become these corporate jargon marketing terms. That's really what it is. So that's basically what my meeting that I went to was. It was a bunch of stuff like that, like synergy. And I said to the guys that I worked with before we went, I said, if we created a drinking game and I would have remembered to bring my bourbon and shot glasses, we probably would not be able to drive home. We wouldn't be able to drive home. We'd be so drunk. And that's exactly what happened. And we even identified the words that they would use, and that's exactly what they did. So I did not need to be a part of that. In fact, I think most people there didn't need to be a part of it. The ones that probably it was relevant to already knew, right? Already knew the details that they were explaining. So I don't, folks, when you have a company like that, you'd probably be better off like approaching it in a small way, as small a way as you possibly could. I think that would probably be better for everyone. Your employees would probably appreciate it. I was just looking at there was a sign back there at this pull off in this area, and it looked like one of those interpretive historic signs. And I was thinking for a minute about stopping in there, but man, there's like probably about 6 inches of snow tramped down underneath tire treads there. So I wasn't going to get in there and get stuck or something. And there was someone in there walking back a trail. I'm going to stop in there some other time. I'm going to see what that says. Anyways, I was just a little frustrated by being stuck in a meeting when I really needed to get some stuff done. And also it came over my lunchtime where I come out, and I really wanted to talk to you guys. I was originally going to talk about something else. I end up talking about this because, man, I just I'm not a fan of that whole, like, I don't know. It feels like I don't even know how to describe it. All I can say is, for me, that meeting was a waste of time. And then I walked down to the site where I'm working, and I see all the people that didn't attend the meeting that were working decided not to attend, even though this was a mandatory meeting. And they're just going about their business, doing their work. And I think to myself, doggone, man, that's what I should have done. How many times have I been in one of these meetings and I walk out and I'm like, man, I didn't need any of that. That's kind of the way this went. I should have just stayed at my work. Anyways, I appreciate y'all listening to me, like, unburden a little bit there. I just need to get out of there. It's not anger. It's not anything. It's just kind of like, I don't like wasting my time. Like, unless I choose to waste my time. That was kind of, I don't know. When you tell me something is mandatory, I get in my mind that I'm going to get some detail that I actually need or something like that. And it never is. It really never is. There was nothing there that I needed other than to hear, well, nothing's really going to change. We're going to continue to do the things as a company that we've always done. So folks, continue to do the work that you do that made this company valuable. And that's what I'll do. Unless I decide to leave. In which case, hopefully, it's a choice that I make. And so that's really what was important to me in the meeting. It was like less than a paragraph. That's all I needed. Basically, all I needed was, you're not really going to be affected. Carry on. Great. And then, like, maybe if you say, got any questions? And if I have questions, I promise I would not have taken up hardly any of your time. If I would have even thought of a question, which is doubtful, it would have been one question, maybe two, with really quick answers required. And the most important thing to me at this point is, will I have a job on Monday? The second most important thing, will I get paid for performing that job? And if the answer is none of the things that your current reality isn't going to be any different, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good, brother, sister. I'm good. And that's what I was told. So you know what? I'm good. Thank you so much for listening to me and for taking the time out of your day to listen to this. I appreciate that. I really do. I promise tomorrow will be something a little more existential, maybe, or maybe a topic, and not whatever this is. So dreams, grass, churros, and again, I can't thank you enough for being an ear, being eyes, watching, listening. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. What was that anyhow? I clasped my hands. That's like, isn't that like something that people that win a race do? Or something like that? I don't know. I was just expressing appreciation. Hopefully that's okay. Man, somebody, like I was going to park somewhere, and somebody that's parked next to me pulled out and pulled back in a matter of like a short period of time. And now I'm kind of blocked out unless I want to like practically rub their doors. If you're watching, you know who you are. I doubt you are. So I'm going to park in my normal spot like 10 miles away because I don't want this baby to get scratched up. That's not really why. I do it because I'm fat and I need to walk. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do nicely. You know what that's do? Right over there. Yeah. It's not exactly like that. But if you know, you know. All right. Hey, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. I feel a little better. After talking to you. All right. We'll see you tomorrow.